To Senators Lindsey Graham and John McCain.
I am sure that Vladimir Putin could be of enormous assistance in that effort since he's doing the hacking.
It's not the dumbest idea I've ever heard, but it's pretty close. Tillerson and Trump are ready to forgive and forget when it comes to cyber attacks on the American election of 2016. Nobody's saying, Mr. President, the Russians changed the outcome. You won fair and square, but they did try to attack our election system. They were successful in many ways, and the more you do this, the more people are suspicious about you and Russia.
So Michael, what are your thoughts of that? You've got these senators who are, confused, if not rather upset about the approach that Trump has exhibited.
Smartest Russia specialist in Congress put it best, I think. He said Putin's métier has been, in the course of almost 2 decades of being in power, create a problem, then pretend to solve it, then take a deep bow. That's what we're seeing here, right? Putin says he wants to work with the United States on combating radical terrorism, yet Russian policies in Chechnya and the Caucasus have only increased the number of radical terrorists who have gone off to Syria, often with the help of the FSB, the security services, which allowed them into the country in the lead up to the Winter Olympics in Sochi. Now he's saying we need to work together on cybersecurity after perpetrating not just a major hacking of the U.S. democratic election system, but probably the greatest espionage operation even during the Cold War. The Russians never did what they did in 2016. And Putin is taking a deep bow, and Donald Trump is effectively patting him on the back for it. I mean, I agree with the senators. It's insane. It's like putting an arsonist in charge of the fire brigade. And by the way, yes, I totally understand this talking point, which has become, it's reached the level of platitude. We need to work with the Russians on X. We do indeed. The problem is the Russians don't want to work with us on X, Y, or Z, whether it's counterterrorism, nuclear deproliferation, from which multiple treaties they've pulled out of, to now cybersecurity. Anybody you've talked to in intelligence work or counterterrorism work over the past 2 decades will tell you we have never effectively cooperated with the Russian security services on Islamic terrorism because they don't give us what we need. They're after going after the veterans of the Chechen and Caucasian War. They're not interested in Al-Qaeda. They're not interested in ISIS. You can just talk to Bob Baer about that. You talk to anybody else who comes on CNN. They'll tell you the same thing.
So Ellis, we've got your mic hopefully worked out this time. Do you believe it's clear where Donald Trump is coming from? He tweeted this morning, saying, in his conversation with Vladimir Putin, he vehemently denied it. And then he said, I've already given my opinion. He makes it clear. Is it imperative that the president find another means in which to make it clear where is he on the Russian meddling, what he said to Putin, and what the conclusion was, if there are, more sanctions or penalties or something later?
Fred, I don't think the president wants to. I think he's made it very clear what he thinks, which is he doesn't believe it. He believes Putin more than he believes our intelligence agencies. And as long as he has that opinion, this whole notion of we're going to move forward past these problems, it's really a code word for saying we're not going to do anything about it. We'll let them do whatever they want. There'll be no penalties for it, and we will ignore all the bad stuff that they did. So, no, I have no confusion about what the president thinks, and I don't think anybody really does.
Okay.